Hey guys, it's Orlando from Wildflower Leather Co. Thank you for tuning in for this week's episode. Today we're going to go ahead and review the Cinebrook stitching punches. I have a set of 3. There we go. A set of 3 and 7mm spacing, 6 and 5. And all of these are in the 1.5mm stitching hole. So let's go ahead and do a deep dive on them. My first pair was the 5mm spacing. I got a 5-prong and I got a 2-prong. You need to get 2-prong just to make your life so much easier when it comes to corners. I eventually upgraded to an 8-prong chisel and 5mm just to make my life so much easier when it came to doing more straight lines on larger projects such as journal covers, and just overall just do some less punching on each project. I got these pretty early in my leather journey. I did some research. I started looking at other leather crafters online on their Instagram, and I eventually came to the conclusion that I really wanted to go for that hole punch look versus the diamond chisels that you can get from Tandy or Weaver Leathercraft, and the pricking irons, which are the slanted lines that are, I guess those are more traditional. I knew, the hole punch is the way that I wanted to go, so I picked these up pretty early. I eventually upgraded to the 6mm spacing. Again, I got the 6mm spacing. These are in, again, 5 prongs, and then I got the 2-prong. These seem to be the more popular spacings between many leather crafters, is from what I've noticed. I could be wrong, but it seems to be a good sweet spot between the spacings where you're not spending too much time stitching, because the more spacing that you have means less stitching holes, and the less spacing that you have means more stitching holes, which just equates to more labor and more time being spent on each piece and each project that you're working on. And then I eventually went up to the 7mm spacing because I really wanted to do a very rugged look. So with the smaller spacing, you kind of get more of that high-end look that you would see in traditional high-end goods, I guess. In the larger spacing that you have, such as 7mm, you get more of that rugged look. Now, depending on the type of leather that you're using and how much time you spend burnishing your edges, if you really want to get that shiny burnish, if you don't burnish very well, or you don't burnish at all on your projects, you're going to get that rugged look with the 7mm spacing. And if you do burnish, you still get that rugged look, but just a little bit more high end. Now, these are not very budget friendly, to be honest, but they are an investment. A 2-prong starts anywhere between $120, and a 5-prong is going to cost you anywhere around $140. And if you want more prongs, that means an additional cost. Now, there is shipping involved since they come from overseas, and I'm here in the US, so it was around 20 bucks. So all in, you're talking about a $270 investment. In addition to that, it does take some time for them to arrive. It's not something that you're going to get within a week or next day like any Amazon item. It does take anywhere from 2 to 3 months. You're more than welcome to reach out to Cinebrook, and they'll let you know how long it's going to take for them to be made and shipped to you. They do come with some spare parts, an Allen key, and additional stitching punches which you can replace if you break any. So you are getting spares given the price that you're paying for these. In addition to that, they have great customer service, so if you do need any replacements, you can reach out to them, and they do have additional bits, the stitching punches that you can replace on these. So that's definitely great that you have an Allen key that you can go ahead and unscrew, and then you can replace each one of these if one of them breaks, and you can buy some directly from them if you need to replace any more. But overall, I've taken care of these. I would recommend using a thick punching pad or mat, or an actual punching pad that you can pick up. I'll leave a description down below about it. And I've had these for well over 3 years, and they're still cutting like butter. So here are some examples of the differences between the spacings. Again, you'll see that the 5mm gives you more of that high-end look on your projects, or it might be able to do that depending on your opinion. And then the 6mm, you see the difference, and then you definitely see the difference when it comes to the 7mm spacing. If your heart is set on picking up the Cinebrook punches, my recommendation would be starting off with the 1.5mm hole and 6mm spacing. The 1.5, I feel like it's a good starting point. The holes aren't that large yet not that small, so it's very easy to pass the thread around when it comes to hand stitching. And then the 6mm is just a really good spot if you're not too sure if you're going for that high-end look or that rugged look when it comes to the 7mm, for example. But then on the other hand, there's other brands out there that make pricking irons. Cinebrooks also makes some pricking irons. They're more affordable than the punches, so you might want to take a look at them. But there's other brands that do the pricking irons and the chisels, so it all depends on the look that you're after. So do your research, and if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Or if you see another maker using a different tool than Cinebrooks, you know, ask them for their opinions. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I hope you guys found today's information useful and helps you make a decision on what stitching punch to get, because there's several options out there. So leave a question or a comment down below if you have any, and we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.